Hey, yes, I'm in bed recording a video. Um, Today, I had a few thoughts about a certain concept, a very, a very sensitive one in terms of our humanity, and I thought about a few people, well, a handful of people in my life, a couple I don't know, but the concept is trust, and where should I start? Okay, when I was about 3 or 4 years old. Um, my parents had separated, and I was just living with my mom for a little bit. And my mom was talking to a dude, um, and he was very, you know, gentleman-like, but also just very open and trusting. And that's one thing he had told my mom. He was telling my mom about how she should be more trusting with people. And they this is besides the point. They broke it off, not because trust was broken, but for other reasons. Um, and I remember when I heard that, it stuck with me, as a kid. And, fast forward to, my adolescence, getting into relationships, where trust was obviously broken. And it proved to be a very almost like not a real concept, right? Um, then I think when I turned, I think it was 18, 19, that's when I was listening to a lot of Tupac, and not only listening to his music, but just um, watching his interviews. And there's this one interview I think y'all should check out. It's called I think the Lost Prison Tapes, and there's a there's a point in that interview. Um, he started talking about trust, and he was saying not to trust anybody. Just stay to yourself. Stay to yourself. Keep to yourself. Trust no one. And he was obviously very serious, about that, considering he was in prison for something that he didn't do. And, you know, the people that he deemed trustworthy proved themselves to be obviously not, but also proved themselves to be powerless. Um, and that made me think, about the times where give me a second to think and properly verbalize it. If you want someone to trust you, you have to respect yourself. first, and then obviously you gotta respect that said person. Um, yeah, just in retrospect, about the times where whatever was built was broken with just one decision, and we're obviously very conscious of what we do and what we say. Um, but in those moments where trust is broken, a lot of people deem themselves as powerless. Um, and I've experienced many forms of trust. um, some trust I felt develop, naturally, without being said. Um, it's like a energetic type of thing. And I've also dealt with, trust that's sold to you. um, served on a, I always say this, served on a dirty platter. Um, and people that sell trust, they ain't buying it. It's not. They can't even convince themselves to buy it for themselves. Um, God knows I look so so mean or just focused, but I'm just chilling. It's almost 2 in the morning, but just enjoying my quiet. Um, and I've also heard, the saying, you can't trust people. You gotta trust them to be themselves. Whatever they show you is them. And you have to. It's hard to kind of, I guess, differentiate between what they're doing is a conscious act or simply just them being completely unaware or, But I mean, human psychology is, I think it's infinite. It's infinite, yet it's also predictable. And I'm tired of it. um, Trust is like, imagine like a very long, brittle pipeline into the chambers of your heart. And, love can, love and people are beautiful. And, when trust is broken, that, that long pipeline, can truly it could shatter, not just shatter, but it creates echoes within those chambers. And as time goes on, it becomes increasingly difficult to silence those echoes. And then those echoes they can crush you. You know, we have this world where, you know, you got people who are just solely focused on the physical aspect of things. And then you also got people who focus on the physical and religious, right? Then you got the in my opinion, the most complicated arena where the most chaos is ensuing right now, the spiritual arena. So, so it's hard to rebuild trust when you kind of you gotta naturally let people go through those pipelines, you know? And maybe even now, a lot of days, like many days, I'll say a good 85%. Um, I tread on the lower octaves of my experiences, you know, because I already believe that, well, I'm exhausted, not not literally, but mentally, emotionally. I already believe that I don't belong here. So it's like what I know I have to give, why give it here? But I have a lot to work on. But, you know, despite things that are broken, despite the echoes that's being reverbed in my spirit and the pain that comes from it, you know, there's joy to be had. And I'm not I'm not thinking about people, but the world is fighting for me right now. Every millisecond, the world is just trying to give to me. And like I said, regardless of what might be broken, that ground level of gratitude that I have I need to really express it. So do you. So do you. But backtracking to the Tupac interview, he was just taking loads of shit from people. And his that's like really stuck in my mind since I was, like I said, since I first saw it when I was like 18, 19. And I don't think it didn't have an effect in the way I chose and the way I naturally, love, right? The way I naturally love. But when I was in certain situations, what he said was a ringing reminder. So here I am now, freaking 14, 13 years later. Just wondering what to do with that energy. A lot of men who really revere, they're suffering now because of putting trust into people, situations. But they still want me to be, trusting. So anyway, I just wanted to share that. Yeah, I wonder what you think. Right now, I think I'm not. Shit, maybe I am. Maybe I am channeling my escapism. Just some random thoughts. I was driving and I thought about that, and so all right, I'm off to bed. Take it easy.